this just in, other students who are sympathetic to the pro-Palestinian protesters are using some sort of a rope pulley system to deliver goods up to the students who have taken over this hall, including, you cannot make this up, tins of cupcakes, which you could argue is appropriate given the nature of these folks. But I would say, given my theory, that only the unattractive people or dumb are the ones who are doing this kind of protesting. You should send some cover up and some Ozempic, which would be a smarter and more useful delivery to the protesters. Julian, what do you make of what we're seeing on these college campuses?
Well, when you coddle and pander to bad behavior, you get more of it. You know, in January, the administrators at Columbia sat down with the Students for Justice in Palestine and some other extremist groups. And one of them was saying that it was preaching death to Israel. And you should be glad that I'm not on the street killing Jews right now. And these are the type of people that the Columbia administrators were trying to coddle to or trying to appease. It's not their job. It's not their job to sit down with students and listen to their demands about disinvesting from Israel. The moral confusion of administrators here is so profound. The lack of education from students at these prestigious schools is unbelievable in terms of how they are aligning with the most anti-progressive forces on the globe today. And you know, the Biden administration, I think, has in many ways encouraged this. You heard Karine Jean-Pierre today say we're not going to get involved in sort of policing decisions. The schools have been utterly, flaccid in terms of dealing with students and outside agitators, probably getting funds from foreign sources, who are not only disrupting classrooms, but who are, assaulting Jews with flagpoles, spitting on them, painting swastikas. I mean, imagine for a minute the tolerance of both federal officials in the Biden administration, school officials, if you had a group of white supremacists who were assaulting Black Americans, saying they should go back to Africa, sort of all of these other obnoxious things, if you were to do an analogy, there would be no tolerance for it in a minute. But in the same way that the left thinks that Israel doesn't have a right to defend itself from what is one of the most horrific genocidal attacks on October 7th. And the response to it, by the way, the civilian casualty ratio has been one of the lowest of any urban warfares ever in history. In the same way that we have a double standard for Israel, there's a double standard when it comes to these incredibly anti-Semitic, uninformed, ahistorical assaults and attacks on Jews on campus universities. And it's outrageous. One of the reasons, Megyn, one of the reasons that I think that Jews are going to leave the Democratic Party.
Yeah, and some have already. Even my own friends, I have tons of Jewish friends in and around New York who are all saying, for the first time ever, I'm taking in conservative media. I'm no longer watching MSNBC. I can't stand the coverage. New York Times just reporting Columbia has announced the students occupying Hamilton Hall will face expulsion. We made it very clear yesterday that the work of the university cannot be endlessly interrupted by protesters who violate the rules, said a spokesman, it's not coming from the president herself, Ben Chang, in a statement. Continuing to do so will be met with clear consequences. More warning, no action, basically. Nothing's happening. I mean, how much more do they have to do before the message is, you are expelled? My empty threats, you did empty threats yesterday. They didn't listen. Now it's truly like the parent, no, I really mean it this time. You put down that toy or mommy's going to punish you, even though I didn't punish you the previous 3 times, Lexi.
Yeah, how many more janitors do they have to hold hostage for these people to be expelled? I mean, this is honestly ridiculous. The leadership they are gutless, they are spineless. And the big problem with this is that, as Julian said, this would not be tolerated if it were a right-wing protest. There's no way. It would be quashed immediately. I think the problem is that some of these administrators, probably a lot of them, kind of have some sympathy for this cause. And so they're trying to take a hands-off approach, and now it's gotten completely out of control and they don't know what to do. And the utter hypocrisy of these students who say, number one, you have to divest from Israel. I would like to ask 100 of those students if they even know what divesting means. They probably don't even balance their checkbook. Who are they to tell a university that it needs to divest from a country? They are there to be students.
Do you owe back taxes? Pandemic relief is now over. Along with hiring thousands of new agents and field officers, the IRS has kicked off 2024 by sending over 5 million pay-up letters to those who have unfiled tax returns or who owe balances. Don't waive your rights and speak with them on your own. Tax Network USA, a trusted tax relief firm, has saved over $1 billion in back taxes for their clients, and they can help you secure the best deal possible. Whether you owe $10,000 or $10 million, they can help you. Whether it's business or personal taxes, or even if you have the means to pay or are on a fixed income, doesn't matter. They can help you finally resolve your tax burdens once and for all. Call 1-800-245-6000, 1-800-245-6000 for a private free consultation, or just visit tnusa.com/Megyn. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.